Hello crafty family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY projects, we'll be creating some really easy and stylish pieces that you can make using these items from the Dollar Tree. Now to get you all started, I've included the full supply list in the description box below. Now to all of my amazing subscribers and visitors, I wanted to say hey, and if you aren't a subby yet, what are you waiting for? By clicking subscribe, you'll be one of the first to see all of my new content. So let's get started. Now this project is a lighted jar planter decor piece. Now for this project, we're going to need one of these canning jars from the Dollar Tree. They have these in a smaller size, which is convenient, and they're only $1.25. So we're going to take our canning jar, we're going to remove the lid. We're not going to be using that for this project. We're also going to remove any labels that are on the bottom and remove any sticky residue that may be left on there. And then make sure you do follow up by cleaning your jars really well with rubbing alcohol all over it. Now I wanted to put a striped design on this jar. In order to mark that, I'm just turning it upside down and I'm marking the bottom with a Sharpie, and I'm making about 6 individual sections. And I'm kind of just eyeballing this. You can definitely use a tape measure if that helps, but you just want to mark it evenly, 6 dots around the bottom. So once it's all marked, there's several different things you can use to make your stripes, and one of the most convenient things to use is the Dollar Tree electrical tape. I have used this tape before to bake striping. I've laid a strip down and then cut it into 1/4-inch strips. You can also use the Dollar Tree vinyl that they use for cutting machines to do this. Or what I did is I actually went online to Amazon and I got this 1/4-inch tape. Now this is the kind of tape they use for whiteboards when you use dry erase markers. I thought that was just so convenient. So I did buy this from Amazon, and I'll link it in the description box below. So I'm just going to take this tape and I'm going to start laying it against the jar, just making sure it overlaps the top and the bottom edges by at least about 1 inch. Now once you lay it on there, just rub your finger down the length of it and it makes sure it gets a nice tight adhesion. We're going to repeat this all the way around the jar until all of our strips are nice and adhered, and make sure you kind of press them really solidly into those threads. Here are all of my strips all now in place on my jar. So now what I want to do is I want to grab that electrical tape. Now this is perfect for this part of the project. I am going to wrap that electrical tape around the threads of the jar. This is just to lock everything in, and it trims out the top with black. So electrical tape is perfect for this because it has a little bit of stretch and it nestles really tightly around there. Now we also want to take that electrical tape and go around the bottom of the jar. And again, since it does have a little stretch, it'll match that curve around the bottom of the jar. You just want to trim it down, making sure it overlaps, and just press it in place with your fingers. This stays in place really well and it's really strong, so definitely don't forget your electrical tape when you want to do your next craft. So now what we're going to do is trim off all of that excess. So now I'm just going around with either my scissors or my blade to trim off all of the overlap, and you just want to remove all that from the bottom here, and then we're going to do the same thing around the top edge as well. And now that that's done, we can move on to the next step, which is putting the last bit of stripping across the center. And I'm just going to lay this right in the center. Again, I'm just eyeballing it. You want to pull it slightly and wrap it all the way around, and now it kind of looks like a cage look, which is exactly what I was going for, and these items that I used turned out perfect for this project. So now that that's done, you can decorate these however you want to. Now you could take some greenery bushes, and I got these from the Dollar Tree, and you could stick those inside and that looks really cute, but the whole purpose of the cage glass is to make them light up. So I have these little packets of fairy lights that I got from the Dollar Tree that I wrapped in electrical tape just to kind of make them blend in, and I'm just sticking those down, way down into that little jar. Now once you get that in there, you could choose to put your battery pack in there or not, then stick your greenery on top, turn on those lights, and there you have it. You have a beautiful little lighted piece. I love this. And here it is, you guys. I think that this is such a cute decor piece. Now you can add some greenery of your choice to top it off, and the Dollar Tree fairy lights are perfect for the inside of this project. You guys have to let me know how you would decorate with this project in the comments below. Now this project is a set of farmhouse style vases. So for this project, we're going to need 4 of these little vase jars from the Dollar Tree. These remind me of the little salsa jars we find sometimes, but I love crafting with those. So we're going to take all 4 of our jars. We're going to give them a really good clean. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint these. So I'm going to spray paint these with about 2 to 3 coats of this spray paint. This is white satin bright white by Krylon, or you can paint them with acrylic paint if you like. Now, once they've sat out to dry, here's what they look like. They're all nice and dry, ready to craft with. Now I did want to add one more accent to these little jars, and I'm going to be using some black acrylic paint to do this, and I'm just going to give it just a slight enamel distressed look. You don't have to add much to give it an accent. This is just kind of defining the top part of that jar. And I love to use my craft stick method, you guys. This is such an easy way to do this. I'm just dragging that craft stick across the top and dipping it in that paint, and you have the perfect little edge at the top of your jars. Not too much, not too little, but perfect. So next, what I want to do is customize the jars with a word. Again, this is another thing that's totally optional. I actually saw something like this on Amazon. It inspired me to create something like this. So this is why I decided to go with the lettering. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these peel and stick letters from the Dollar Tree onto my jars. And I am not going to spell that word. I am going to spell home. So here are all of the jars, all ready to go with the word home. So now I'm going to take some of this checkered ribbon, and I'm going to tie little bows around the tops of the jars. This is another optional thing. You could choose whatever kind of ribbon you like. You can wrap it with jute twine. There's just so many options of what you can do. So once I have the little bows on here, here are all the jars. I think these are so adorable. So now that these are all done, you just got to add some of your greenery of choice. Again, I'm choosing these little bundles from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to stick one in each one of these jars. This is so simple, but it turns out really sweet. And how easy was that? This is just such a cute little project that didn't take much time at all. Now, in all of its simplicity, it still is a very clean and stylish decor set, and you can make them for much less than you can buy them if they are pre-made. Now, I really do hope you give this really easy DIY a try. Now, this project is a 3-basket hanging decor piece. We're going to need one of these rustic board signs, and you can get these from the Dollar Tree. And I'm also going to need 3 of these metal wire baskets in black from the Dollar Tree. Okay, we're going to start with our board here, and this is a nice sturdy board, so I think that it would do well holding up baskets as shelves, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to first start laying out all of my baskets, just kind of evenly spacing them apart. Again, I am eyeballing this, just making sure they're all evenly spaced. Then I'm taking my pencil and I'm marking the top of each one of the baskets onto the board, and this will give me a reference when I get ready to mount the baskets on there. And you can see here that I marked really lightly in 3 different locations. Now, once that's done, I'm just going to grab my drill, and what I plan to do is drill 2 holes right underneath that line that I marked for my basket side by side. Now, no worries. If you don't have a drill, no worries. You can use a hammer and a nail to do the same thing. Just hammer the nail in the same way, and you'll have 2 holes to work with. You just want to make sure your hole is large enough for a zip tie. Now, here are all 3 sets of my holes on my board, and they're ready to go for the mounting. So now I'm grabbing my baskets, and to attach these is really simple. I'm using the Dollar Tree zip ties. They have these in black, they have these in white. You could choose whichever ones that you have on hand. They'll blend into the board or blend into the basket. So I'm just going to kind of take my basket, and what I'm doing here is I am kind of flattening out the back edge of this. This is the edge that'll be against the board, and what this does is allow it to lay flat against the board and keep it from tipping forward. So I strongly suggest you flatten the back of the round baskets if you use those. So once the back is nice and flat, we're going to take one of those zip ties and we're going to feed it through the back of the board to the front. And once we have it pulled through on one side, we're going to leave about an inch in the back hanging through the back, and then we're going to grab our basket and then we're just going to feed it through the wire mesh. Now, how I like to do it is I like to feed it through the mesh where the mesh is wider than the actual holes that I drilled. I find that this gives it a little tighter feel or a little tighter security to the board, but I'm going to feed it up through the mesh, back through the mesh, and through the back of the board. And as you can see, this is how it's attached. I'm just kind of showing you up close how I fed it through, and then you just want to pull everything really tight against the board through the back of the board. So both ends of your zip ties are pulled through the back, and then finally all you have to do is secure it by running that zip tie through the locking mechanism. Pull it really tight, and that is it. That will hold your basket really secure to this board. And now all you have to do is take the remaining two baskets, shape them, and add those to the board as well. Now, once those are zip tied through the front of the board, go ahead and flip it over. And now we're just going to secure the last two baskets the same way we did for the first basket we attached. I'm just going to go back and secure everything once more, and then just cut off all of those tails, and this is easy to do with wire clippers or a sharp pair of scissors. And here are all your baskets, all nice and secure to the board, and all you have to do now is to decorate it. You guys, this is so super easy. I just can't get any easier than this. This is so much fun too. And now the fun part is decorating. You guys, I had so much fun putting all of the fun decor items on this rack. Now, I placed some bundles of greenery, some metal farmhouse decor I got from Dollar General, and some cute cotton towels on my rack, and I really love this. Now, this is also great for the kitchen for spices, the craft room for supplies, or even for mail and keys and phones that you can leave next to your door when you enter your home. The possibilities are really endless with this design. Now, this project is a decorative wood home sign. We're going to need one of these wood home signs. You can get this from the Crafter Square section at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use this piece of leftover foam board, and you can also get this from the Dollar Tree. We're going to start with that home sign, remove it from the package, and even though I love the wood, for this project I am going to be painting this, and I'm going to use my chalk paint. You could use acrylic paint, or you can even use spray paint if you like. I'm just choosing chalk paint because it's one coat, quick and easy, and it'll cover all of your sign. Now, when you do paint it, make sure you get the surface and the inside edges of the lettering all the way down the board to cover the whole sign. Now here's the whole sign all nice and covered. Now let it sit to completely dry. So here it is all nice and dry. So I did grab my piece of foam board to sit it on there. I kind of really didn't like how the O looked. The little dashes up there just kind of made it look very military to me. So I'm going to edit the sign a little bit. So what I'm doing is taking some wire clippers, and I am going to clip the center of the O out of this sign. Now I didn't decide this until later. Otherwise I would have done all of this before I painted, but I'm always making last minute decisions. So I'm going to clip out that O and then trim up the edges of the O so they're nice and smooth. Now you can use these mini wire clippers, you could use a sander, you could use some scissors even, because this wood is very thin. Now once the center of the O is trimmed, you want to go to the inside of the actual opening, and it's not going to get it perfect, so I like to follow up with a little bit of sandpaper and just sand around the inside there, and this just gives it that extra smooth look that we're looking for to make it look more professional. And we also want to do the circle of the O in the center as well. So now I'm going to lay my sign in a corner on that piece of foam board. I'm going to hold it in place and I'm going to trace it out. Now originally I was going to use my ruler, but since I already had the board there, no need. I'm just going along with it with my utility blade, and I'm going to separate the edges that I don't need for my sign. So now that I have it trimmed down to the exact size of my sign, I'm going to adhere it to that foam board with some hot glue. I'm just going around the back of it with some hot glue and I'm pressing it in place. Now I'm using that foam board on the back because I needed something really firm and I wanted it to hold that O in place the perfect way I wanted it. So that's why I used foam board instead of fabric. So check this out. I'm putting the O in the center, realizing it's the wrong direction. So while it was still warm, I rotated it around to get it the right direction and I made it. It definitely worked. So now that that's done, I decided to go in with another accent. I'm taking a black Sharpie, and what I wanted to do is just put some ticking marks around the letter. This kind of looks like stitching. I love the stitching effect on different lettering. It just makes the letters pop a little bit. I'm going to do this for the entire sign, and look, all it took was a Sharpie to achieve this look. I'm loving how it's turning out, so definitely give the Sharpie ticking stitches a try. Now again, I'm going to grab some more of that checkered ribbon, and I wanted to trim out the top and the bottom of the sign just to give it a little bit more oomph. So I'm going to trim a piece along the top, and I'm just barely putting it down 1/8 of an inch from that top edge and laying that ribbon right across it, attaching it with hot glue. I'm going to repeat this for the bottom of the sign as well. And now I'm going to take one of those Dollar Tree bushes again. I actually clipped one apart so I can have some sprigs to work with. So I'm taking 4 of those sprigs and I'm going to join them and butt them up together to kind of make an accent for the top of my sign. You can choose to add this greenery however you want. You can clip it on, you can glue it on. It's all up to you. But I'm just going to zip tie these branches together. Again, Dollar Tree does have some green zip ties if you want those. But since I'm covering up this zip tie, it really didn't make a difference to me. I just wanted them bundled together and nice and secure. So now I'm just doing some final adjustments, and then to attach it, I'm just going to put some hot glue at the top center of my sign and press and hold that bundle of greenery right in the top center until that glue grabs on. So now that that's done, I just tied a tiny little bow out of that same ribbon, and I'm going to add that to the center. Just easy peasy. This is so simple and easy. I think it turned out so really cute with the ticking letters on the sign. And there you have it. It's a perfect little sign for your door or the entranceway to your home. Now I do love all the little details, which makes this look like you purchased it instead of making it yourself. And there are so many optional ways you can back this and options for greenery too. You just want to make it your own. Now I really do hope you guys enjoy creating this as much as I did. Now listen, all of these budget-friendly DIYs today are so sweet, but let me know in the comments which one was your favorite today. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy crafting as much as I do, and share this video with your friends that love to craft too. Now be sure to check me out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for even more projects and even random giveaways. And don't forget to subscribe to see more. It's absolutely free. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.